Hello and welcome to another session of Karen's Colours. I'm Dr. Karen and these are my colour conversations. The time has come for another monthly reading for all of you according to your birthday month. And this month I'm going to be working with the Healing Energy Oracle. This one is an oracle created by Mario Duguay. He's an author and artist from Uruguay, I believe. Very interesting cards. But firstly, I'd like to welcome back those of you who have been following this series of videos. I certainly hope that you've learned a lot about how colour can influence your life and also how it has the ability to create all sorts of guidance as to how you can react and respond to the various issues that you are faced with throughout each month. I'm coming to you today from a very cold and chilly Australia. And so if I have to stop every now and then just to warm up, please excuse that. If you're new to this channel, you're very, very welcome to stay and learn something that you perhaps have not been exposed to before. I certainly hope that it is something that you will find of interest and maybe even come back. And if you are really interested, just hit that subscribe button. It doesn't hurt to have more people than my 35 subscribers hanging around. All right, so let's begin. Right. Let's choose an oracle card for people born in the month of March in order to examine how their month of August 2025 will proceed. And we'll pop that under there. So now I want a colour reading for people born in the month of March for August 2025. Let's not throw those around. My shuffling hasn't improved any, I'm afraid. All right. Cards for a colour reading for people born in March for August 2025. And we begin with blue on orange, proceed to yellow on cyan, move to white on white, and the underlying energy is cyan on green. Well, the first thing we notice is that cyan is repeated. It is the need or drive that occurs in the present. It's also the action that occurs in the underlying energy. As well as that, we have a colour repeated here, white on white. Now, when you have the same colour top and bottom in one of these colour circles, it means that there is particular attention needs to be paid to it. There is an inability to do anything different to what that colour represents. And it creates a sort of a bind for you when it appears in a reading. But we'll get to that in a moment. Let's firstly look at the underlying energy. We have here cyan on green. Green is the colour of the energies that are driving you throughout the entire month of August. Green is all about seeking of new pastures. It's wanting to get away from what is and finding something new. Being able to start off in a different direction, being able to move somewhere where you haven't been before. It's like looking over the fence at the next door neighbour's place and wishing that you could be there instead. In the real world, what that drive to make changes through moving has created for you is a state in which you really can't move at all. Cyan is the color of bliss, which means that you're happy with what there is going on in your life, but it's also the color of stagnation, a color of inability to move on. And here, the cyan on green create for you a sort of a bind. You are stuck in a place that is really quite lovely, but you want to move on. And you can't move on because that loveliness is keeping you where you are. So how does that work in terms of what has happened in the past? In the past, you've had blue on orange. Orange is a need for being able to survive a calamity of some sort or another. And in blue, in the real world, means having to organize yourself, get stuck into doing whatever work needs to be done so that you can make the move from whatever this calamity was. Now, interestingly, orange as a driver and the need for asserting yourself that it refers to is what has been either the cause of this need to get away, or else the need to get away has disrupted whatever was going on inside your life and has created for you the drama that requires you to want to assert yourself and so therefore make changes. So the two of them are almost at odds with one another. But orange and blue are the actual opposites in the color wheel. And so here we have a situation where you're thrown from one extreme to the other. You want to stand up and be counted. You want to assert yourself. You want to survive whatever the calamity is that you are facing. But in the real world, there is stability. There is the inability to make those major changes because basically you're quite happy with where you are. You're quite calm, you're quite content, you're quite organized. Everything is stable in your world. And even though you may feel as though things are disrupted internally, in the real world, you've created a situation where there is order and organization. Maybe you have got a job that you are dissatisfied with and you want to get away from it. Maybe there is a circumstance around home or family, or even around whatever it is that you're doing in terms of, well, doesn't necessarily have to be career, but even travel, whatever it is within your life that is organized and stable and routine is something that has caused the disruption, or the disruption has created an immense ability to organize yourself to create that routine. When we have orange and green as drivers, we have not only the need to get away, which occurs with the green, but also the having to have the courage to do so. So this is a challenge that you have faced in the past, the challenge of, do you make the sort of move that will enable you to go somewhere different, to do something different, to approach life differently? But in the real world, you've had the stability and organization that comes from having a life that is routine. And at the same time, you've got this, there's no real need to move because everything's okay. Life is good. Life has been good. Life continues to be good. But at the same time, there's nothing exciting happening with any of it. And this urge towards disrupting things and creating some sort of drama that occurs with the orange means that you're not really happy with stability. You're not really happy with things being safe and secure and organized and ordinary. In the now, that cyan has become the driver internally. It's almost an opposite for the orange. So you've got swung from an area of, from a feeling of wanting to create change because you feel there's a crisis of some sort or another, to now feeling, well, hey, no, things are really quite calm, they're quite stable, they're quite organized, and I am quite happy in what it is that I have created. Maybe you did make those changes. Maybe you created something out of this organization and stability that occurred as a result of the blue and cyan. But whatever it is, in the real world now, you're in a situation where you are learning something new. You have discovered things that were different to the way in which you thought of them before. And that yellow and cyan, when we mix those two colors together, creates a very pale green. So in fact, you found what it is that you're looking for down here. You've found the freedom to move on. You've found what you needed to learn to digest mentally in order to feel more satisfied and more settled internally. And a lot of that has to do with this underlying energy. Cyan and green, when we mix those two colors together, give us a relationship issue. You have found the friends, the acquaintances, the people that are necessary for you to take that step to move on. But where are you moving to? White on white means a total, absolute change. You're moving into unknown territory. You know very little about what's going to happen next. You've joined with whatever this relationship here is to start off in a direction that you have absolutely no ability to even imagine what it would be like. But you've also been hit with the stark stick of reality. White on white is the Page of Swords in the tarot. You have been given the message that there is something that you need to pay attention to. Reality has struck, and it's struck not only in the real world, but also in your internal world. You are going to have to completely re-evaluate everything you know, everything that you've learned back here, all of the relationships that you've brought with you, all of the drama and the stability that you had created in the past, and now having to be re-evaluated completely. Interesting situation to be in, because the white and green, when we put those together, form a paler form of green, and the whiter, the paler any of these colors are, the harder it is to obtain whatever it is that color represents. So here the urge for new beginnings become almost a desperation for those new beginnings. But can you achieve them? Well, you've got white and cyan as well. You can only achieve them if you have the right sort of contacts, if you find the sorts of relationships that you need, but they have to be pure relationships. They have to be divine relationships. They have to be the sorts of relationships that will take you on a path towards absolute enlightenment, absolute waking up to what could be, rather than just simply dealing with what is, which is what you were dealing with back here. Let's have a look at what the missing colours have to say about this. There's no black, but you do have white. You don't have any red, but you do have yellow. You've got green, you've got blue. There's no brown. There's orange. There's no grey or purple or pink, but you do have cyan. So these colours here represent the skills that you are currently using throughout the month of August. Of most note are, of course, cyan and white, because they are repeated. So there is a potential here for a great deal of bliss and harmony, but also a potential for a great deal of change that occurs abruptly and completely as a result of some sort of new knowledge, new message, new information that has come in that has overridden everything that you knew before. What is not being used or examined here during this month are black, red, brown, grey, purple, and pink. Black is the ability to withdraw, to move inside yourself, and to deal with absolutes. White is all about the unknown in terms of anything and everything. Black is dealing with the unknown, but dealing with the unknown in terms of what actually can be ascertained. Red is energy. It is ability to do anything that you need to do because you have the wherewithal to do so. You've got the blood and the fire pumping through your veins, urging you forward towards something. Brown is all about stability, ambitions, getting on with a particular goal in mind, and making sure that it remains within life permanently. Grey is dealing with uncertainty and confusion, but it's also a search for truth. Purple is about change, abrupt change usually, but it's also about being able to heal and make things better. And pink is about love and vulnerability. It's about, do you in fact acknowledge that you yourself are something or somebody that requires attention? Are you able to accept that attention? Can you give that attention to others? Are you vulnerable as well as caring? Looking at these colours here and comparing them to what you've got here, these seem rather dull in comparison, but maybe, just maybe, you need to quieten down some of this enlightenment here, because this often represents a fright, a massive fright. These will allow you to overcome that in a manner that enables you to calm down again. So choose whichever colour is most appealing and whichever colour is least appealing. Apply them to the here and now. Insert them into your underlying energy and allow them to travel through to this white on white, which will lead you somewhere different to where the Page of Swords seems to be wanting to take you right now. Let's examine the Oracle card to see what it has to say on the subject. What do we have here is action. It's an affirmation. My divine action incites love and harmony. I'm aware of my thoughts and driven by positive forces. I listen to my heart. My desire to manifest light transforms tests into growth, challenge into opportunity, and fear into love. It's talking about this. And there's your action. There's your love and harmony. I think it might be giving you a hint. Well, it seems like August is going to be a very interesting month, don't you think? I hope you've received something out of it, out of these readings that have been of benefit to you. And I hope you'll be back for the next one in September. In the meantime, please do consider using some of the colours that are missing and enter them into your life, because when you do, you find things do move in a different direction to the ones that are normally signed off as being inevitable in the readings. Remember, it's all about your choices. I certainly hope to see you again, and may your life be filled with lots of colour. And until next time, may the colours that you do bring into your life bring you the sorts of things that you desire and deserve. Bye.